Hey, what's up, artist? Welcome back. We're going to do video 3. This is how to draw Charizard. Today we're going to do the inks. So we're going to add black to our Charizard and make him pop out. And then we're going to do a couple of effects. And I'm going to make a new layer. So that's going to be my top. Now if you're using a marker or you're doing color pencil, I would suggest using a black Sharpie or maybe a micron, something like that. And it's going to give you a really nice ink point. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to grab my eraser and I'm going to clean up a little bit of this drawing. So we're just going to erase. Now if you've used colored pencil, what you would want to do is grab a big eraser and we're just going to erase some of these lines that we used for our drawing, our underdrawing. And we're just going to get rid of a little bit of that. It's going to make it look a little bit nicer. One good thing about using Photoshop is there are infinite undos. So if you make a mistake, you can just undo it. Whoops, we don't want to delete our, we don't want to erase our color. I made them all, I made the ink, the drawing, and the color on one layer. That way it will be more like what you're doing at home if you are using paper. Because when you're drawing on paper, it's one layer. So, you know, there's your drawing, and then there's your inks, and then there's your color right on top. And there's no in between. So I wanted to simulate that for you guys. Real easy. We're just cleaning up a little bit of this line work. Now if you can't do that for some reason, maybe you used a marker or a pen, what you can do is use white paint or even a whiteout pen, and you can go over and white out some of your mistakes. Now another thing you could do, which would be a little more time consuming, if you have a light table, or you can use a window or a piece of glass with a light under it, is you can trace your drawing and do a clean version with ink and skip the pencil part. So you'll just get a brand new piece of paper and a marker or a pen, and you'll just trace right over the top of your drawing. Okay? Okay, I'm going to bring this Charizard in just a little bit so he's not hanging off the page. There we go. Okay. Now what I want to do is I'm going to go back in here. I'm going to use my orange. I'm going to color over this line work that you can sort of see through. That's one benefit of using Photoshop, is you can paint over stuff. Now if you can't do that because you're using markers or something, you can use colored pencils. Colored pencils can go right over the top of markers. Okay, so don't forget that you can layer your color. One other thing you could do is if you had paint, you could paint right over the top of whatever it was you happen to be drawing. In the computer, we have the ink dropper, eyedropper, and we can just paint right over the top of our illustration with layers. So there is benefits to using digital art creation tools. As you can see, I'm just painting directly onto my color layer with color, and that is getting rid of this underdrawing. It's kind of messy. And we are going to go back over this with black ink. So if you have a Sharpie or a pencil, dark color pencil, a paint pen, all that would work. Even a normal ink pen would be okay. The only thing about an ink pen is it smears, and you'll have to really push hard to get a thick black cartoonish outline on your character. And that's what we don't want. We don't want you to strain your hand, right? That would be no fun. Now, some of these lines that I drew, I'm just going to get rid of them because it's going to make our drawing look cleaner, okay? You don't necessarily need all those extra lines. If you'll notice, one thing about cartoons, especially like anime or Pokemon, you know, the drawings are usually very simple, but they are masterfully crafted characters because the designs are very much thought through. There's not a lot of, you know, the drawings are not scratchy, and that one way you can tell a novice from a veteran artist is the drawings are not scratchy. That's because we are more confident in our line work as we get better and as we get older. And then one benefit of doing, say, computer art like this is you can go back in and clean up your drawing, as I'm doing right now. And it really helps your drawing to look better. Separates the unfinished work of a novice from the finished look of a professional. So cleaning up your art, having confident strokes can really make a difference for you in the way your art looks. And remember, it's a cartoon, so it's not real. It doesn't have to look real. It doesn't need to look just like the cartoon. It doesn't need to look just like, you know, a Pokemon card artist. You do your best. And as you can see, I'm adding a little bit more to his toes here. And another benefit of using the computer. You could do that though with paint or your color pencil. Okay. Let's see, I'm going to put a little bit more meat on his wings here. A little bit of a claw. Okay, I'm okay with that. So now I'm going to grab some of this gray for his claws. Zoom in a little bit. I'm going to clean up his claws here. So see, I'm just going to go right over this pencil work, this underdrawing. So you could do the same thing with your colored pencils. You can erase that drawing. Once you've inked something as well, if you're using pencils and pen, you can erase your pencil and only your inking will show up. So that's a benefit of using a Sharpie or something, but make sure that your ink is dry before you erase, otherwise you're going to smear it. Okay? Okay, now let's grab white. Let's get these teeth in his eye. Now I want to have a little bit of a sheen right here. So I'm just going to draw a little white circle in his eye. Just like that. And then since we're already over there, I'm going to grab this blue and finish off his eyeball here. Okay, and we're going to go over some of this with black, so don't worry about that too much. Wings look okay, I'm okay with that. Actually, let's do the stomach real quick. It's a little messy. Okay, looks okay. Okay, let's go back to the teeth. I'm going to save real quick. I just saved. Control S if you're using Photoshop. Let's go in here. Let's do these teeth. So if you're using white, you can just paint right over. And then they'll just fill in. See how that just looks so clean now? And I'm making them slightly curved. Especially at the top where they insert into the gum. I'm going to add a tooth here. What's one benefit of using Photoshop? Paint. Now if you're at home and you want to add a tooth, I would say use whiteout or paint. And then just add the tooth. Just add it right in there. Okay, let's do these back teeth. Also let you fix some of the shape that they might take. Okay, these bottom teeth are going to look way better once we've cleaned them up a little bit. And that tooth is behind his tongue. A little more volume on that one. Remember, the front teeth are the biggest ones. Those are the chompers, right? You know, one thing that I didn't do that I'm going to add here that I forgot is I'm going to add some teeth across the bottom of his mouth, and they're going to be small. because they're tearing teeth. So I'm just going to do 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. And let's do right here on the bottom too. And they might overlap a little bit, and that's okay. His teeth do that anyway. 2, 3, 4. There we go. Now he looks like he could really tear you up. Arrgh. Okay, now let's finish off his tongue. So it was pink before. I'm going to grab a reddish color. More of a reddish pink. There we go. I'm going to add that to his tongue. So I'm just going to paint right over it. But I'm going to leave the rest of his mouth pink. And I'm going to leave the under shadowed part, which is just a deeper purple, like a magenta. I just painted right over. I'm just going to leave that too. And then it just goes, his tongue just goes right in the back of his throat there. A little bit more gum, just define his gums a little bit more. There you go. Looks pretty good. Okay, now let's save that. Okay, so let's grab a yellow. Let's grab the same yellow on his tail. So get your yellow out. Go ahead and clean up this flame a little bit. Use rounded strokes. And it's fire, so it's organic, so it's not really straight. this red. Make some curvy lines. I'm just going to let these colors sit next to each other. And then I'm going to go over this black sort of gray and just use red because it's fire. We don't really want black on our fire. There we go. Looks much better. Okay. Okay, now let's go. So we get that pinkish red on his tongue. Let's grab a light pink. So I'm going to get a little bit of a lighter color. And I'm going to do a light color over his tongue here. So grab a light pink. So something that has white. It's a tint of pink. Anytime you have a color and you add white, it's called a tint. So we're going to add a tinted pink to his tongue. And just paint right over the top there. Just like that. It's real simple, guys. Okay. So got that. Now let's get a green. Yeah, did you add a green? Let's grab like a lime green. Let's go in here, let's do his eyeball. So what I'm going to do is go right over the blue, and I'm going to do half green. I'm going to make this little curve. Okay. Then I got that same blue. I'm going to grab a darker blue. And just on the bottom half here, I'm going to do a little bit of a dark blue. And that will give us the illusion that his eye is round. His pupil, see that? Let's go ahead and save that. Okay, then I'm going to use that same blue, same dark blue. I'm going to go in here to his wings. I'm going to go right under the orange. Just create this edge. Draw down the line right there. Okay, then what I want to do is take this blue, just draw a little bit of a line in the wing. And I'm going to curve these edges out. Same thing over here. Curve this out too, actually. Okay, now let's grab a lighter blue. I'm going to grab a blue that's lighter than his wing. That's a tint of blue. Okay. Then we're going to go in. Just put a little bit of a highlight right under where the dark blue meets light blue. And same thing over here. You can sort of round it out if you're using a lighter blue. You can go right over the top of that darker blue. There we go. Looks good. Okay. Okay, now let's go back. Let's grab white. Let's put a highlight on his claws. So you can get your white pencil or your white pen or whatever. We're just going to do a white line on the top of each claw.